Okay, I'm glad you were able to get some stuff in. Glad you're feeling better. Everything looks good, sounds good. So, considering how much time we have until we meet again, we're just going to have one thing that you work up and a couple theory things to do. So, hopefully, that's a fair amount of stuff to work on. And what we got here is just that C scale up and down. So, for the next few days, you're going to just practice alternate picking strictly, going up and down that scale. And it definitely starts getting challenging the faster you get, because it's kind of like picking acrobatics as you get going faster and faster. So let's demo this 60, 1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, three, four. One, two, three, four. 240. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 260. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 280. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 300. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So those speeds are there, obviously, for demonstration, but to remind you, take it as far as you can. Take it as far as you can. And then you can do other scales too, if you have the time and you'd like to. So picking wise, it'll end up being the same. It's really just the fretting hand to be concerned with. And speaking of scales, clearly you have those scales down now. Absolutely fantastic. If you haven't already, recommend doing like maybe 5 minutes of improv practice most days of the week. So it's a great way to do a warm-up. Just take a backing track, look up, A minor backing track, like whatever style. Obviously, like metal might be the thing. I like to do kind of more ballady sounding things, like looking up a Buckethead style backing track in A minor. Stuff like that I really like to play along with. But yeah, just finding a backing track in A minor that you really like the sound of, or at least you gotta feel like you can have fun with. That's a good thing to do. And just work on exploring that fretboard. We can talk about that more on Sunday, and I'll ask you, how much have you done with improv before? How do you feel comfortable with it? What things are limiting to you? Stuff like that. So we'll definitely talk more about that in detail on Sunday. And let's talk the theory stuff. So, now we're going to do, just like we did with the triad chords, we have the big old cowboy chords, but then we put them into these nice little movable shapes and all that. We're going to do the same thing with the suspended chords. So you got the first set of sus2s, or suspended seconds, written out. So I just want to run through those. Some of these are going to have an absolutely gnarly stretch. Let's turn this on here. So just run through what you see. Good idea to say it as you go. Just continue to reinforce what's happening. It'll make it easier to recall, and easier to recall things as you go, as you're playing stuff. So anyway, C sus2, D sus2, your E sus flat 2, F sus2, G sus2, same thing an octave below, A sus2, and then the B sus2 flat 5, B sus flat 2 flat 5, B sus flat 2 flat 5. going to rewrite everything starting on the A string. So just following the Roman numerals there. And when you have a duplicate Roman numeral, it's like you're going to start down low. Always start as low as you can. So that'll be the open position, C sus2, and then you'll have that a higher octave there. And then right here with the two fours right next to each other, this will be the high octave, that'll be the open position. And then here, when you start on the G string, the sixth position chord, that's going to be high octave and open position as well. And then you got your sus4s, same deal. C sus4, D sus4, E sus4, F sus#4, G sus4, in two places, A sus4, B sus4 flat 5. And then go to the A string, write them out again, go to the D string, do the same, go to the G string, the same. Again, some of those will be a gnarly stretch. I'd say with all the classical training you have, I'd imagine you'll be okay with doing them. Might feel a bit uncomfortable at first, but I think you'll be okay. Number 3. This is also doing something we did with the triad chord shapes, where you like play those triads like this. Stuff like that. And then we also did this same thing with doing the arpeggios. Anyway, so now once you get all the chords written out, then you're going to, we got the first two progressions already done. So just run through what's already there, just to get an idea of how we're doing this. So just like with the triad chords and arpeggios, you will be writing out yours, keeping everything close to each other. So going from one chord to the next in as little distance as possible, keeping in mind that where this chord begins, that's where this chord will begin, that's where this chord will begin. So at the end of each progression, the string you start on is listed at the very end here, because this blank bar is not going to have any notes in it. So the text just fit in nice and neat over here. So starting on the D string, over here, position 1, and wherever you have these chords starting, that is where you will have these chords starting. So, looking at what's done already, okay, you have sus2 chords for the first line, sus4 chords for the second line, triad chord to resolve, at least a resolve chord, and then a unique way of playing the scale or the mode. So you'll want to put the mode name as well at the end here. We're going to label that too. So when it comes down time for you to write your stuff in position 1, that's what you're going to, wait a minute, where am I at? There we go. Position 1, and then when you get down here, you'll write the scale or the mode out the same fashion that this is played. So if you look closely, it's not just going up the scale, it's so if you were to number each note on each string going up those 3 note per string scales, you'd have like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and so on. So what we're doing here is going 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, just to add some uniqueness there. So that'll be the plan for the next few days. If you have any questions, please let me know. Of course, It might have to be in the next few hours, because in a few hours I will be signing out of work until Sunday. But write the questions anyway, and then I'll be able to read them when I get back to work on Sunday, and then I'll be prepared to talk to you about those questions when we meet up. All right. Talk to you soon.